Good morning and welcome to another edition of Our Town here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swenson. Our Town, as always, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. It's a 5-guest program. On the show this morning, we will be talking to Decorah boys basketball coach Jonathan Carlson. For the second time in 3 seasons, the Decorah boys are heading to the boys state basketball tournament next week. We'll preview state and talk about the season that has been to this point with him. We'll talk to Decorah High School graduate Joe Courtney. He is a member of the Wisconsin Singers, and they're coming to Decorah this Sunday at 3 o'clock at the Decorah High School. And that performance will be one you don't want to miss. We'll talk about Joe's connection to that group and what you want to know on that end of things. We will also talk to Ashley Horgen. She is with Winneshiek County 4-H. Coming up this Sunday, it's the 4-H Omelet Breakfast and Silent Auction at the Community Building on Winneshiek County Fairgrounds, 8 a.m. until 12:30, and we'll talk about a lot of things connected to 4-H as well. And beginning tonight, it's the Oneota Film Festival, the 14th annual event in Decorah. We'll talk to Elise Skellenger to preview that event, but we'll kick off our program with some timely information with Clayton Burke from the Iowa DOT. News came out earlier this week that the Blackhawk Bridge from Lansing to DeSoto was shut down for safety reasons. We'll talk about that issue with Clayton Burke, and he'll also update us on the construction project of the new bridge, which is scheduled to open in 2026. So 5 guests on the program, a lot of information, a lot of fun to be had, and we hope you enjoy it. We thank you for listening as always. This is Our Town. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Joining us now is Clayton Burke. He is an engineer with the Iowa Department of Transportation, and he is the project manager on the new Lansing Bridge project. And obviously, a lot of things going on in Lansing related to bridges, not only the construction of the new bridge, but on Sunday earlier this week, Clayton, the DOT, chose to shut down the Blackhawk Bridge for safety concerns. What led to that decision that shut down the bridge on Sunday?
Yeah, so there was a phone call that went out to the Alameda County Sheriff from a concerned citizen claiming that the bridge didn't look right. So I got a call Sunday from our maintenance area supervisor claiming that we needed to go out and look at the bridge because the Alameda County Sheriff was out there and they didn't think it looked right either. So we went out and there was definitely a kink in the bridge deck and guardrail. And so that led to us closing the bridge for safety concerns. Anytime a bridge moves, it's not good for the structure. And then we determined that we would have to perform an evaluation of the bridge or an inspection before it could be deemed to be safe to reopen.
What goes into that inspection process?
So we've got a third-party consultant on staff as part of the project, and so we were able to have them as a subject matter expert come out and evaluate the bridge. They crawl around it and they inspect all the different joints and they look at the piers, the condition, they look for any cracking or deterioration, anything like that that would indicate that the bridge is under a new stress or something is failing or there's some type of condition that makes the bridge not safe to drive on.
And as we talk here on Tuesday afternoon, how long will this inspection process take?
The inspection, we were able to actually get them out Monday morning. They were here, they were climbing on the bridge. It takes them a couple days to put together their official report, but we do have some preliminary results from that inspection and a plan to move forward.
And what are those preliminary results as of this time that you can release?
So they did confirm that that 2 of the bridge piers have moved, and that due to the type of bridge that it is, it's a simply supported truss at this location. There wasn't any significant um, damage or wear that was visible on the bridge. So the superstructure looked to be in good condition. The concrete piers underneath, they obviously moved. And so, in engineering terms, we're not sure what the capacity of those concrete piers are that are supporting the bridge underneath.
And I'm guessing from the outside looking in, until you answer that question, you can't open the bridge, correct?
Correct. But we do have a plan moving forward. So, without knowing what's under the bridge that was constructed in 1931, we don't have any documents that tell us how they actually built it. We won't be able to determine that capacity. So our plan to get the bridge back open is to construct new piers that support the bridge and alleviate it from relying on those originally constructed piers.
And from what I understand, based on the history of this bridge, part of the reason you don't have that information, because this was privately owned originally, is that correct?
Correct. Yes. Yep. Originally built as a private toll bridge.
And what's any sort of timeline to potentially get that bridge back open, or is it just a case of you got to play it safe as far as you can to make sure that it is safe to for travelers or anybody else to cross that bridge? Is that where you're at right now?
Yep. Safety and priority. Safety is a priority, and getting the bridge open as fast as we possibly can is a close second. So yesterday we started working with the contractor right away to come up with that plan on how to design and build those new piers that are going to support the bridge. And it's not going to be an easy task due to the nature of the area around the existing bridge. But we think we got a good plan to construct those and move forward. And the contractor's thinking about 2 months to design and build those and get the bridge back open.
All right. Moving on to the construction of the new bridge that is in its initial stages. Where is that project at right now?
So we've got portions of the new bridge is broken out into two kind of separate bridges. The first bridge is on the Wisconsin side, and that gets you from the roadway up to the elevation of the big truss bridge. And so on that first bridge that's on the Wisconsin side, the contractor has most of the abutment, which is the concrete structure that the bridge sits on at the very end, and then the footings and parts of the piers constructed. So they're going to continue working on that first bridge while we wait and see what we can do with the drilled shaft foundations, the deep foundations that we're working on cause more vibration in the structure. We're waiting to see what we can do with those to keep moving forward.
And I know it's kind of been an unseasonably warm winter. Has that allowed perhaps more progress to be made on this bridge than you initially planned, or is this something that's kind of independent of weather?
So we certainly plan to work on the bridge throughout the winter. A lot of the deep foundation work can be done whether it's -20 or well, I shouldn't say -20 because you don't want it's not safe to have people out in that weather. But whether it's really cold or whether it's warm, you can still pursue that work. But we certainly appreciate the warm weather over here. Makes
And
it a lot more pleasant to work in.
well, I think we all agree with that assessment. You mentioned what's being done on the Wisconsin side of the river. What will we see being done next on the Iowa side with this new bridge?
So the contractor has mobilized a barge, and so to construct the pier that's right on the Iowa side, the very first pier that the bridge sits on, they have to build it from the river because of the proximity of the railroad.
Okay.
So they have a barge sitting out there right now with an excavator. The first step is to remove all the riprap or the rock that's on the bank, and then install a big coffer dam made out of steel sheets. And once they have that, then they'll start working on those deep drilled shaft foundations that we've been working on the Wisconsin side.
And how much progress do you want to make? I know this bridge isn't scheduled to open until 2026. How much progress do you want to make on this bridge if everything goes as smooth as possible in this calendar year?
It's a good question. A lot we want to be getting towards steel erection by the end of the year, getting the piers up in the air and being out of the water with most of the concrete structures, and then starting to work on that steel truss superstructure of the bridge.
And will the need to build the new concrete structure underneath the current bridge, will that slow down the new bridge process when it comes to construction at all?
So the contractor is likely going to be able to work on both at the same
Okay.
time. And it's going to be a steel structure, a lot like some of the temporary piers that they build during construction. They can make that strong enough that it replaces the entire strength of the existing piers, and so it'll just be a steel truss that they set up under the bridge, and then they'll lift the bridge back into the original position before those piers moved underneath.
All right, Clayton, that's what's in my notebook as of right now. As long as you got the forum, anything else you believe the public needs to know regarding the current bridge or the new bridge construction right now?
No, I think we are working on anything we possibly can to provide some relief to those that are affected by the detour. So the first item we're working on, the kind of some of the best that we came up with that we can do is a bus route. We'll provide a free bus that runs from one side of the river to the other, and it still runs along the long detour to get across and get around the closure. But at least we're hoping to provide some relief on that cost of transportation.
All right,
And then
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no problem. While we're providing that bus, the next step we're going to look into is if it's feasible to provide a ferry service to cut down on that crossing time.
All right. Appreciate the information, Clayton. I know a lot of things going on right now, but probably a lot of things going on with the Iowa DOT pretty much at
Yeah,
every time of year. We appreciate you taking some time to update the public on this important issue that's affecting a lot of people in eastern Ellicott County and in our area.
absolutely. It's good chatting with you, Darren.
Clayton Burke is with the Iowa DOT giving us an update on the current Lansing Bridge situation and the construction of the new Lansing Bridge. This morning with Elise Skellenger. She is with the Oneota Film Festival, which begins tonight in Decorah. And Elise, how many years has this festival been an event here in Decorah?
This is the 14th annual.
And still going strong as well. What is the overall goal? What is the mission of the Oneota Film Festival?
The biggest mission is to bring audiences and filmmakers together. We collect films from all over the world, and a big part of that is bringing filmmakers here to Decorah, not only to experience our lovely local area, but also so that our audiences can talk to filmmakers and ask them the questions, because some of these films are tackling some pretty big issues, and it's important to be able to talk to the people that made the film and get a little bit more information about it.
What makes the Decorah area such an attractive place to hold a festival like this?
We have some awesome local businesses that are willing to let us screen in location. So we can have the festival downtown Decorah. So our screening locations this year are T-Box upstairs, the Driftless Yoga Center, which is the third story of Impact, Hotel Winneshiek, and Convergence Cider Works, also Art House and the All Vets Club. And being downtown has been very special for us the past couple of years because it allows us to be in the community and the community to partake in the festival at the same time.
Let's run down some of the schedule of events coming up this weekend. I know you probably can't run down every film, but there's a place you can get all that information. When does the festivities begin? How busy can people be if they want to this weekend?
Yeah, so we kick off tonight at the Steyer Opera House in the Hotel Winneshiek with a film called Shift. And that is the Rag Bride documentary. And it was filmed the year that it ended in Lansing. So it features Northeast Iowa and some local people pretty predominantly. And then on Friday, films start at 1 o'clock and go until about 6. And then we will be having an off social at Impact Coffee with Driftless Jazz. And then on Saturday, the films start at 10 a.m. and go until about 6 o'clock again. And then we have the Meet the Filmmakers reception on Saturday night at T-Box upstairs. And even on Sunday, we're screening films from about 11 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. So full weekend.
So if you're bored this weekend, it's your own darn fault, right?
Exactly.
So how do you go about deciding which films will be a part of this festival? What's that process like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we use a website called Film Freeway, which is a website that's used by film festivals all over the world. And so filmmakers can look and see which film festivals they want to submit to. And again, all over the world, people will submit their films to our festival. And then our judging panel takes a look at all of the films, watches them, and decides which ones will be good for our audience and which they think are good enough quality to bring to our area and to our local audiences.
What has allowed this event to not only sustain, but to grow over the years?
Yeah, absolutely. Our biggest supporter is the local community. So be that local businesses that are willing to sponsor the festival or personal memberships, people that are signed up to support the festival year round. And the biggest thing is that allows us to make sure that all of our festival events are completely free. So you're more than welcome to be a member, but you do not need to be a member to attend. It is completely free. Anyone and everyone can come to the whole festival.
Where can people find more information online about the festival?
Yeah, the full schedule, along with all of the film descriptions, is online at our website, www.oneotafilmfestival.org.
Anything we're missing? Anything else you want to touch on, as long as you got the forum this morning?
Yeah, just like to highlight the fact that there are over 45 different films that are going to be shown over the weekend. And I've scheduled them all to be shown at least twice so that if they are paired up against one of the films that you want to see at one of the showings, at the next screening, it should be paired up against a different film. So you should be able to see as many as you want. And we also have a youth block of films with some Decorah and some of the local surrounding schools. And that's going to be on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. in the Driftless Yoga Center.
Great, Elise. We appreciate you taking some time to talk about the Oneota Film Festival going strong and getting better than ever now in its 14th year. We wish best of luck with the event this weekend, and we thank you for the time.
Thank you for having me.
Elise Skellenger is with the Oneota Film Festival starting tonight in Decorah through Sunday. Having a conversation this morning with Ashley Horgen. She is with Winneshiek County 4-H, and a big event coming up this Sunday, the Omelet Breakfast and Silent Auction taking place this Sunday. Ashley, tell us all about it.
Yeah, so we have the Winneshiek County 4-H Omelet Breakfast coming up this Sunday, March 3rd, and we will be in the community building at the Winneshiek County Fairgrounds, and we will be serving from 8 to 12:30. And our tickets are $10 a piece, and the youth that are 9 and under, they are $5. We will have takeouts available, so that is an option as well, but we would love to have you come down and join us. We will be serving omelets, and those will be cooked by the high school 4-Hers, or we like to call them our Winneshiek County Council, so our senior leaders in 4-H. So they will have their cookers going and they will be cooking omelets for you right in front of you. So that is a pretty cool experience. We have lots of awesome toppings. We have sausage and ham, peppers and onions and mushrooms, and of course cheese to fill up those omelets. And along with our omelets, we will have breakfast sweets, so like muffins and cinnamon bread and applesauce, and of course some drinks as well. So it'll be a great day.
How do people purchase tickets?
Sure, yes, we will be selling tickets at the door, so they're welcome to just come on down to the fairgrounds between 8 and 12:30 and come through for omelets.
And the proceeds from this event, what do the proceeds get put towards?
Yeah, the proceeds from this event help to support the 4-H enrollment fees for our Winneshiek County 4-Hers. So they help to allow our 4-H members to stay involved and to do the awesome things they do throughout the year. And then they just go to support the Winneshiek County 4-H program as well.
And let's get deeper into 4-H itself. The all-encompassing question, what is 4-H?
Yeah, that's a great question. 4-H is a youth organization for kids in kindergarten through 12th grade. Our real 4-Hers would be considered the 4th through 12th graders. So we work with a little bit older kids. The K through 3 would be considered Clover kids. But the 4-H members or Clover kids get to dive into different project areas that they're interested in. That could be livestock. That could be, it doesn't necessarily need to be focused around agriculture either. That could include photography or sewing and needle arts, food and nutrition, STEM, mechanics. Really, it kind of encompasses any hobby or interest that a youth may have and kind of helps them dive into that and explore different things related to those areas, kind of help them find their spark in the world.
Has 4-H kind of expanded in some of those areas over the years?
Yeah, 4-H has expanded, I guess. I think a lot of us have thought historically 4-H was for like farm kids or people that live in the country, but it's definitely expanded to continue being that, but also to be involved with various other project areas as well, and really helps kids grow leadership and communication skills. So it's a great organization to become a part of.
And what type of opportunities do 4-H kids get through exploring some of these opportunities that you just mentioned?
Sure. Yeah, we do lots of different trips. We actually, with summer coming around shortly, we're gearing up for our summer camps and our summer trips. So our 4th through 6th graders actually can come out and explore Pine Bluff 4-H camp, which is, we're lucky, that is in Decorah. That is an overnight trip in June. Our 7th and 8th graders take a bus trip over the summer and they go to, I believe they're going to Dubuque this year. So that is an awesome experience for them. And then our high schoolers, there's a cool opportunity called State 4-H Conference. So high schoolers from across the state gather on Iowa State's campus for a 3-day event where they get to attend different workshops, meet new friends, and just have a really fun time exploring Iowa State's campus.
And if a parent is interested in getting their youngster involved in 4-H, or the youngster themselves wants to get involved, how do they do so?
Sure. If you're interested in joining 4-H, you're always welcome to contact the Winneshiek County Extension Office. We also have 12 4-H clubs spread out throughout the county. So if you are familiar with a 4-H club, you're welcome to reach out to the volunteer that works at that club, and they can help you get in contact with me as well.
All right. Obviously, a lot of great things going on with 4-H, but in the immediate, you got the breakfast coming up on Sunday. Give us a final reminder of that.
Yeah, the Winneshiek County 4-H omelet breakfast is this Sunday, March 3rd from 8 to 12:30. We'll have tasty omelets, breakfast sweets, applesauce, and drinks. Tickets are sold at the door from 8 to 12:30. Come out and join us for a breakfast. It looks like it'll be a beautiful day.
Perhaps even an excellent time, right?
Yes, an excellent time. Come join the Winneshiek County 4-Hers.
Anything else you want to pass on about the breakfast or 4-H? Anything we're missing, Ashley?
I guess you had mentioned it at the beginning. We do have a silent auction that goes on at the time as well. So you're welcome to, as you're waiting in line to get your omelet, you're welcome to take a peek at those silent auction items and bid if you're interested. They are starting to roll into the office and they look pretty cool. There's some awesome baskets.
All right, Ashley, we appreciate you taking the time to tell us about the breakfast coming up this Sunday morning, great place to get some sustenance on a Sunday and support a good cause in the process. Ashley, thank you for the time and thank you for what you do for the youth of Winneshiek County.
Awesome. Thanks, Darren. We hope to see everyone on Sunday.
Ashley Horgen from Winneshiek County 4-H, the omelet breakfast at the community building at the fairgrounds from 8 a.m. until 12:30 Sunday morning. Having a conversation now with a 2020 graduate of Decorah High School, Joe Courtney. He is a member of the Wisconsin Singers, and they will be coming to town this weekend. And Joe, tell us about the Wisconsin Singers. Give us the story of that group.
Hey, Darren. Great to be on here. Thanks for having us. Well, the Wisconsin Singers is an electric show, I'll tell you about it. It's 90 minutes, mostly top 40, pop, musical theater, a mix of all the genres of music that you listen to, all in one great show and back to back to back. And it's action-packed. We got 18 singer-dancers on stage providing you with all the glitz and glamour they've got. We've got an 8-piece band behind us as well. That's excellent. So it's fun to have a little live backing with us too. And it's just, like I said, action-packed and lots of fun, and definitely don't want to miss it.
How'd you get involved with this group?
I joined the group 2 years ago in 2021 after COVID. I wanted to get back into performing because I did a lot of it in high school. And this was the best avenue I saw. You know, I haven't really done any show choir related activities before, but figured I'd give it a shot. So I auditioned over the summer while I was back home over Zoom. And here we are now.
What's been the best part of the experience for you?
I got to say, it's been the people. I mean, I said I love performing, and I knew that I was going to get that here regardless. But this group, the biggest X factor is the amount of time you get to spend with a wide range and cast of people. I have people who are education majors, computer science majors, biomedical, chemical engineering majors. You know, these are people I wouldn't have met otherwise in any other situation than this one. So it's really great to be able to just get to meet people from such a diverse background and connect with people on so many different levels.
Well, since you brought up other majors, what's your major?
I am a finance and environmental studies major, actually.
Oh, and here you are performing and enjoying doing so. How often do the Wisconsin Singers perform?
All in all, we have about 35 performances a season on average. Most of them fall in the spring semester. We do our touring on the weekend. We have a couple in the fall, but those are mostly around the Madison area. But we really spread our wings a little bit during the spring semester. We try to get about 2 shows a weekend. So this past weekend, we had a couple shows in Plymouth, Wisconsin, and we've also performed in De Pere. Milwaukee was coming up here soon, pretty much all over the state of Wisconsin. But our one and only trip outside of the state of Wisconsin is this one coming up this Sunday, and I'm super excited about it.
And if I'm not mistaken, you've visited Decorah as a part of this group before, correct?
Correct. We've been here the last 2 years, actually.
Okay.
I haven't spoken to you since the first year we came, but yeah, we were here the year before too. But happy to be promoting it on this platform once again, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And tell us about the show coming up this Sunday in Decorah.
Sure. So this year's show, the 56th season, the theme is When Opposites Attract. The idea is bringing all of us together, like I said, from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different ideas, and just creating music and creating excitement and feeling all the emotions together on one stage, which is really hard to find in the world these days. So it's super exciting that we'll be able to do this through this show. You'll see a lot of really great hits, great pop hits. You'll see me up there a couple times singing a couple songs by myself. But you also got some more tender moments. We have some more laid back songs and some really, intimate songs. So it's a good range between different, in your face, really loud pop music and, just like a little more intimate vibes. And we got a couple band features too as well, and they're excellent as ever. So you'll get to catch their excellency on stage as well.
And you mentioned the variety that this show brings to the table. As for yourself, do you find yourself a different performer or a better performer in any specific ways than when you first started a couple of years ago?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I had no experience in show choir or anything adjacent to that, just because we don't have that in Decorah. But this has surely opened my doors to performing, I would say mostly pop music. I didn't really do anything like that before. A lot of classical choir is what I did in high school and middle school. So this was a real 180 in terms of my performing background. So really happy to have exposed myself to that these last 3 years and get exposure in, just pop performance, and also just theater work and know how to work an emotion of a crowd has been really, really valuable. So those are the two big things I've gotten from my time with the singers.
And one of the neat things that you're bringing up, you mentioned the variety of majors, the variety of people that you get to work with. It's just one of those things like in today's world, I blame our industry more than anybody with this. We focus so much on what divides us. There's so many more things that unite us than divide us. And I think your group kind of epitomizes that from the outside looking in. Is that a fair way to put it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's really the core message of what we're doing. We got started back in 1967, actually, like I said, it's our 56th year.
Wow.
And fun fact, the original reason we were founded was to promote, our official title was the official ambassadors of goodwill for the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So during that time, Vietnam War, lots of protests going on, lots of tension nationally, and Madison's image was not that bright in the national scope. So this group was created by the director of the union at the time, Arlie Mux, to kind of lighten the image a little bit and show that Madison isn't all about protesting this war that we're against so much. So, and we've really tried to keep that message of being ambassadors of goodwill to our core. And I'd say we've done a pretty good job. And it's, like you said, it's more important now than ever.
And when does the show begin? Where will it be? How do people get in?
Tickets will be at Chamber of Commerce, Rooting Rock Products. They're online as well. You can call us by our number, or you can check us out on our website, or they're going to be also at the door day of show. So plenty of options to get tickets. The show will be this Sunday at 3 p.m. at the high school auditorium. You better be there because you don't want to miss it. I promise you that.
Anything we're missing, Joe? That covers what I have in my notebook. Anything else we need to pass on as long as you got the forum?
Just your smiling faces and a loud crowd. That's all I ask for. So.
And you know what? I think most people in Decorah can provide that on a Sunday afternoon. Joe, glad to see you're doing well and enjoying the experience you're getting through the Wisconsin Singers. And you're taking your talents back home this weekend to show it off to the local crowd. Best of luck with you for the performance this weekend, and continued success to you in all facets.
Thank you very much, Darren. Appreciate the time.
Joe Courtney, he's a part of the Wisconsin Singers, Decorah High School graduate of 2020, performing this Sunday, 3 o'clock, Decorah High School Auditorium. Be there. For the second time in 3 seasons, the Decorah boys basketball team is off to Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines in the state tournament. They did so with the sub-state win over Charles City on Monday night. Head coach Jonathan Carlson joins us. And coach, what's made this state trip possible?
Well, first and foremost, thanks again for all your coverage for high school athletes. You do a heck of a job, and I think a lot of people don't realize all the work that you do. So, well-deserved award that you got too during our Cresco game. So, congrats on that. But yeah, I think what made it happen was this group. They've been playing together for a while. It started back this summer. I think. Overall, just getting started in summer and then keep working. And obviously 5 seniors, those guys have all played together, and then we added a couple other pieces in there. So, I think the biggest thing is they just all had a desire to keep getting better every day, and they're able to accomplish that because of their hard work.
In the sub-state game on Monday night over at Cresco, it was a tie game with 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and you ended up winning by 29 points. Those 38-5 runs are usually pretty good in the sport of basketball. What made things click at that moment for your squad?
Well, I think those people that were tuning in to Randy and Ryan probably were listening, and I don't know if you're there, obviously. We missed a lot of, shots in the first half that we normally hit. You can probably say some of that was nerves. I mean, it was a big crowd. Kudos to Cresco for hosting, and obviously, all of our fans that traveled. Obviously, Decorah fans known for traveling well, and they did that at Cresco. And I think, it was a big environment. And I think, anytime you got a berth for the state tournament on the line, it's a little bit maybe more pressure packed. And, a lot of our guys, or a few of our guys, have been in those situations, but some of them haven't. And, I think it just maybe took a little bit. I think our biggest message at halftime was just relax, take a deep breath. We knew we were going to go on a run. It was just a matter of, getting a couple buckets. I think the other thing too is we ramped up the defensive pressure. Driscoll got out some passing lanes and caused some havoc, and not just him, but that his intensity, I think, ramped up everybody's intensity, and that allowed us to get those stops and get us playing more into our style of basketball.
And sometimes we forget Charles City ain't a bad team either.
No, and anytime you play a team a third time, you knew that they were going to have a good plan. Give Coach Clapperich a lot of credit. A good friend of mine too, and he does a heck of a job with those guys. And obviously these like any conference rivalry, a lot of these guys have been playing each other for since third, fourth grade, so they know each other's tendencies well. And anytime you play a team a third time, it's always a bear. And they did some good things to take away some of our strengths as well.
Obviously, your schedule this year, Coach, you've played some very good competition. I'm going to focus on one game earlier this year. It was your first loss of the year. Waverly Shellrock ended up getting you on your home floor. You were able to return the favor later on in the season. But after that first Waverly loss, did anything change to allow you to take that situation and turn it into a positive and maybe allow you to steer yourself in a direction that was more positive at that point?
Yeah, I think anytime you lose, it's never a good situation, but sometimes it does make you reevaluate some things. And I think that's exactly what happened with that loss. Waverly really basically got anything they wanted that night. They got anything at the rim. They made a bunch of threes. And we knew they were a really good team. If they play like that, they're obviously, they're state caliber, state championship type team, which obviously they're in the state tournament now as well. So we knew they were a good competition, but more importantly, we obviously had to not necessarily make a bunch of changes with us, but it was gut check time and made us reassess a few things and make a few changes defensively and offensively. Be more efficient, and I think that really opened some eyes with that game, and we use it as a positive in that regard.
And also, let's go to the final week of the regular season. You had the opportunity to play at Wells Fargo Arena, got a nice win over Winneshiek, a very good basketball team, and then you went down to Waverly and ended up getting a win in a very entertaining basketball game down there. Did that week kind of solidify the mentality that hey, we're as good as anybody?
Yeah, I think our guys knew they can compete with anybody. But yeah, I mean, obviously another gut check time too. You lose to Cascade on a Saturday, and 48 hours later you're on the Wells Fargo Arena floor playing a heck of an opponent in Winterset. And then obviously that Friday playing Waverly, we knew that was going to be a bear, the 3-game schedule there with those last 3 games with that. And I think that was a good opportunity for us. To play different style, to get on Wells Fargo Arena court. Obviously that's hopefully going to pay some dividends now getting back down there. But yeah, I think it was definitely a good week for us. We needed that after that Cascade loss. I think more importantly, just to get back out on the floor against Winterset and then build that Winterset momentum to that Waverly contest. Big environment there again, and it was fun to see our guys come through and prove that they belong.
Couple of things on the team stat sheet that's impressed me about your team this year. 72.8%. That's the percentage of buckets that have had an assist this year. What do you credit that to? That's a pretty impressive number.
Yeah, I think, we got a lot of guys, that can score the basketball, a lot of mouths to feed, so to speak. But I think our guys do a really good job at finding the open guy. And we preach that a lot. Obviously, we have some tools underneath. Big one, obviously, is Kale. And anytime, 6'11's close to the rim, he's finishing. That obviously helps. But obviously, guys have to be able to find him too, right? And be able to deliver the basketball on time and those types of things. And obviously Trey and Zach being our point guards have done a really good job with that. Trey obviously stands out, probably top 5 in the state in all classes in assists, and has really done a good job facilitating for us. But not only them, Matt, Ben, Caden, Andrew, all those guys, contribute to that as well. And it's just I think it's more or less a mindset of finding the open guy and being efficient. And we preach efficiency offensively, and that leads into that stat.
Another stat, you only turn the ball over 8.1 times per game. oftentimes in any sport, the toughest team to beat is yourself, and that's a sign that you don't beat yourself. What do you credit that to?
I think a lot of that's is offensive scheme, in that our guys they know where each other are at on the floor. I mean, obviously, as I mentioned before, 5 of these seniors have played a lot of basketball together, and so I think they know where each other are at on the floor. And then also we preach free throw line to free throw line, taking care of that ball. I think that's where a lot of turnovers happen, guys. Trying to do too much with it. Make the easy pass. Don't try to do something that you're not capable of. And I think that's tribute to these guys. And they've put in a lot of time too. With ball handling. All of our coaches do a great job. Coach McCain working with these guys all the way through. Just taking care of the basketball. And I think a lot of that's a lot of different things. I think the biggest thing is they've played a lot of basketball together, and that attributes to that.
From a practice and preparation standpoint, how do you handle this week between the sub-state game last night and then getting ready for an opponent a week from today as we speak? How'd you handle it 2 years ago? Did you learn anything from that preparation? How are you going to handle it this time around?
Yeah, I think you look back onto that, looking back through notes from 2 years ago last night. You definitely lean into some of those plans that you had a couple years ago. Now, I don't think we change a whole lot with that. I think it's more or less right now, this time of year is not getting anybody injured. And that's the happy medium of you don't play again for another week. So you need to get some up and down in, with doing a little scrimmaging, but enough where you're going to be able to get some guys some reps, but also not enough where you're going to, get somebody dinged and get somebody hurt too. So I think it's trying to find that balance there of that. And then also keeping them fresh, getting shots up, those types of things. I think we're in a pretty good routine right now, but, obviously have to make a few tweaks with that as well.
And Williamsburg going to be your opponent in the first round. I know you're coming off the big win on Monday night, and it's just Tuesday afternoon, but what have you been able to muster about them to this point?
Well, they're definitely not afraid of anything. I think they were definitely a team on a lot of people's prognosticators' radars to start the season. They got a slow start with the football season. Obviously, they won, I believe it was a Class 3A championship in football. They have a lot of really, really fine athletes that can really do a lot of good things. Obviously, Weiskopf gets a lot of the headlines, the kid going to Iowa for football. I think he's the best athlete in the state. And then they've got some other just really, really, really good guys and they've all been winners. I think that's the biggest thing that stands out to us is they know how to win. They're not going to be afraid of anything. They're not not a team. I think a lot of eight seed maybe doesn't do them justice, but that's what they are. And any team that gets a state's obviously a really, really good team. So we're obviously going to have to put our best foot forward and play our best game. And that they're going to challenge us a lot on the glass with their physicality. And, I think our guys are up for that challenge, but time will tell with that.
And final question for you. I know you're going to prepare this week, get yourselves as ready as you can, and hopefully you can have success a week from Tuesday. But is part of you, from a coaching perspective and from a team perspective, willing to take maybe a half step back and to make sure your guys enjoy the experience? Because getting to a state tournament, that's why you play in the whole season, why you put on all that time in the off season. This is why you do it, to get this opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. As a coaching staff, we were kind of commenting last night from our experience 2 years ago to last night. 2 years ago at Waterloo East, I think it was kind of like that first time, obviously getting a state, in over 40 years, I think it was, or 35, whatever it was. It was definitely a different feeling last night. It was more of a relief, I think, out of everybody that, hey, we're there. Now let's continue on this road. Obviously, enjoy it, but I think this group is hungry for more and not just satisfied with being down there.
All right, Coach, for those that follow you on social media, I got to ask, is there going to be time for a pregame run next Tuesday morning?
I was wondering that myself. We'll have to maybe, I don't know, maybe have to get Coach Rounds, or maybe we'll have to get one of the kids out of school and bring them down there to do a little run before the game. So we'll see what happens, but we'll get something figured out.
Coach, congrats on a very good season to this point. Hopefully it can be a great season after next week. Congrats on getting to state once again. Thanks for the time, and we wish you best of luck in Des Moines.
Hey, we appreciate it, Darren. Thanks much.
Jonathan Carlson, head coach of the Decorah boys, off to state for the 4th time in school of history, 2nd time in 3 years. Thank you to our guest on the program this morning, Clayton Burke from the Iowa DOT, the project engineer for the Lansing Bridge project, providing us the timely information regarding both the current bridge, the Blackhawk Bridge between Lansing and DeSoto, and an update on the project of the new bridge as well. Oneota Film Festival starting tonight in Decorah. We thank Elise Skellenger for joining us on that end of things. This Sunday, Winneshiek County 4-H omelet breakfast and silent auction at the community building on the fairgrounds. Ashley Horgen, our guest on that end of things. Joe Courtney, Decorah High School graduate of 2020. He will be a part of the performance of the Wisconsin Singers, a group that's based out of UW-Madison. They make one appearance outside of the state of Wisconsin on a yearly basis. And it's going to be in Decorah this Sunday, 3 o'clock at the Decorah High School auditorium. And best of luck to the Decorah Viking boys basketball team as they head to the state tournament next week as they take on Williamsburg at 2 p.m. Hear it with Ryan and Randy on 104.7 KVIK next week. And Jonathan Carlson joined us to talk about that. Don't forget, we put these shows on YouTube each and every week. We realize you're busy, got a lot of things going on. Can't always be near a smart speaker or a radio or a communication device of any kind at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, but we get the privilege of talking to fine community members, talking about important community things, and we want to bring that to you on your schedule. Easy way to look it up on YouTube if you're looking at anything on YouTube. 2-29 Our Town program. That's a great way to search that. We also put these links up on our Facebook pages of all of our LA Communications radio stations, and that's a good way to get the links as well. Best way we can keep in touch with our community, keep in touch with you right here at LA Communications. A thanks to our guest, a thanks to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust, and we thank you, that's right, you, tuning in, for logging on or for watching Our Town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.